That'll be the end of that VOD. And then I'm going to start the new VOD for the Twitch stuff here, so that people can basically like look at this VOD and be like, cool, this is just Twitch stuff. So that if anyone doesn't want to deal with the Twitch stuff, they don't have to, you know, because I want to go through it and I want to make sure we're all clear and fine and dandy with the new update to thingies. It should be relatively quick, so we'll quickly go through it. But I want to make sure that everyone's clued up on it, so that everyone knows, so that I know, and that I've already read it once, but we'll go through it. Because this is what I like to do. I like to make sure that when it comes to, especially when it comes to sexual content policies and attire policies and stuff like that, we are all aware of where we all stand on the platform. I also do it because I know that a lot of people within our community are streamers themselves, and a lot of people can't deal with big fucking walls of text. So we go through it together. You know? Over boob, under boob, wandering free. The things that we Twitch doesn't want us to see. I like it, Calandra. I like it. New attire policy. Must wear formal attire at all times, unless streaming about rabbits eating pancakes or gerbils painted purple. Exactly. All right? Let's see if this works. It does work. It does work. Right, friends, this is the new update to the attire policy, and the 3rd of January this came out, all right? So it says, we are updating the attire portion of our community guidelines to prohibit implied nudity while streaming on Twitch. Well, shit. So you didn't break anything? No, the TTS works for the bits. It just doesn't work for my subscriptions at the moment. I don't know whether it's just because I didn't set it up or whether it's broken. But that's where the TTS is at, Senbar. Also, hi, how you doing? How's it going? I hope you're okay. So yeah, so this is the attire proportion. So I am really glad that they have done a nice blanket statement there. Do you know what I mean? Gonna have to start covering my shoulders. I'm off to kick it. Oh my lordy. Could you zoom in a bit? The text gets broken up at this resolution. Yes. Let's go so that everyone can see. There we go. So we are updating our attire portion of our community guidelines to prohibit implied nudity while streaming on Twitch. This update is a response to a recent meta on Twitch in which streamers use black censor bars or other items to block their bodies or clothing or position the camera frame such that a viewer is led to believe that the streamer is fully or partially nude. While most streamers have labeled this content appropriately with the sexual themes label and are wearing clothing behind the object or outside the camera frame, for many users, the thumbnail of this content can be disruptive to their experience on Twitch. While content labeled with the sexual themes label isn't displayed on the homepage, this content is displayed within the category browse directories, and we recognize that many users frequent these pages to find content on Twitch. This update goes into effect today. So what that basically means, how's it going, Catstripe? How you doing? Does that mean that all the half-naked people have to wear clothes? Yes. If it means it's a catch-all, is what it is. I feel like they could have solved this by blurring thumbnails. The downside to that, Sembar, instead of this, the downside to that, like the thing about it is it's a catch-all. The problem that they have is twofold. One, one side of it comes from viewers and one side of it comes from advertisers. In the viewer side of things, you go into a category and you see a whole load of blurred thumbnails. Your streamers are going to complain about discoverability, because who's going to click on a blurred thumbnail, or who isn't going to click on a blurred thumbnail? Does this mean you can't do shirtless streams anymore? You technically can if you're wearing trousers because you're a man. actually being creative with the thumbnails. Yeah. If you could like upload a thumbnail prior to going live, so your thumbnail was always that one thing, I can see that being an option. But when you're talking about blurring thumbnails, it becomes a problem for discoverability. And I can see why, like, the other thing is that when it comes to advertisers, in the regards that advertisers don't want to be associated with implied sexual content in any way, shape, or form. Which means that you've got stuff like, taking the example of pools, tubs, and beaches, or beaches, tubs, and hot tubs and pools, or whatever the fucking category is, that is hugely demonetized because of the content that's on there. The only way to cover that from an advertiser point of view is to demonetize all of the categories that include any kind of implied nudity, which would include any kind of art, which would include all just chatting, which would probably include ASMR, you know? I hope so. It gets so annoying seeing those girls on there half naked. I mean, that I've got no issue with it. That's them doing their thing. But I understand why this is they've gone for a catch-all, which is the catch-all is implied nudity. You cannot imply that you are naked in any way, shape, or form. Because chances are you aren't naked, but you're doing it because you know that sells. You know what I mean? I'm a big sweaty guy. I don't do it for nudity clicks. I do it because I'm fucking warm. Quiet first world rage. I get that. But that just means, classic junk, that just means we're going to have a comeback of all of your sexy, outrageous shirts. You know what I mean? But I guess that's always been a thing with streaming or videos. Yeah, basically, to give you a bit of a background around what is happening here, Twitch are trying to find a happy medium. They look at other sites like YouTube and they're like, okay, YouTube has got a happy medium. It still has things like fucking naked yoga on there, where you actually have people that are pretty much displaying all of their genitalia whilst doing yoga. It just isn't available to people unless they specifically search for it. They are doing their best to try and get a happy medium where they are not excluding the creativity of people being lewd, not explicit, but lewd, whilst also adhering to the wishes of their viewers and their advertisers. And it's not an easy balance by any stretch of imagination. Did nothing, remove the black bar meta, but pools and hot tubs is still a thing. For varying level of nudity is still around. It's about making money off advertising and keeping their public image. Yeah. Whereas like pools and hot tubs, they just demonetize the whole thing. They just turn around and go, cool, if you are in this section, you are going to be demonetized because of the implication of sexual content. You know? And this is what they're trying to do with the sexual themes label. They were trying to find this whole dynamic of going, if you label your stuff as sexual themed, we can immediately filter you out of X, Y, and Z advertising lanes. You will have advertisers that come in and go, cool, we don't want to be associated with anything sexual, so please don't put us anything on sexual. And they go, cool, no worries. All of the content creators with sexual theme label don't have those advertisers on there. You know? That's what they're trying to do. Twitch doesn't make blurry thumbnails, but it does put a black screen warning immature content by making you accept and click it. I've seen that. Now they don't. They do if you click on it, Elizana. So if you go into do I want to do this now? If you go into any kind of Twitch screen, let me pull up one here off to the side and just double check it. So yeah, so if I pull up like just chatting, for example, all right, here is my just chatting screen. None of these are blurred out for having the mature content filter on. And the argument is that some of them could be blurred. It's only when you click on them specifically that it comes up with the black screen that says, this content has been marked as mature content. Do you agree to it? Blah, 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 blah. You know, that's the only time that it does that. And I don't know how easy it is to blur thumbnails in a directory like that, you know? So what they've done is they've done the simpler thing. The simpler thing for Twitch as a business, which is to turn around and say, hey, you cannot imply that you are naked. Which I get. Like, I understand it. From like a business point of view, you cannot imply that you are naked. We cover all of our bases. We make sure that the viewers that don't want to see that content are happy. We make sure our advertisers are happy. And the people that are exploiting the loopholes of our current situation can't. Because it's a pretty good catch-all, you know? There are other live streaming apps for people to go to. There are. 110%. But there's also the dynamic of, like, if I wanted to stream, like, it's a difficult one, Cat's Tribe, because what happens if you want to be a little tongue-in-cheek, a little bit cheeky, a little bit flirty, a little bit lewd, but you don't want to go fully naked, shagging yourself with a cucumber. Do you know what I mean? You go to one of the other sites, you're going to get drowned in the fact that people will always do more extreme stuff than you. So you go to the extreme version of a streaming site where you go, I can go on here and I can get away with X, Y, and Z, and that stuff is going to put me top of the leaderboard. What will put somebody top of the leaderboard in regards to like sexual content, if you get put to the top of the leaderboard on Twitch, you will be bottom of the leaderboard on whatever, Pornhub live streaming, if they did that, you know? So in regards to like a business mindset, it's better to be top of a leaderboard of something that's a bit risque than it is bottom of a leaderboard of something that is completely explicit, you know? I saw that in Twitch's main page, it was one Twitch who was promoting had a black screen. Oh, that's interesting. Not seen anything like that either, Sana. Totally agree with that. To be honest, saves a lot of hassle, not only for viewers, advertisers, but also helps protect streamers from as much harassment. To a certain degree, yeah, death by muffins for sure. So the new meta is green screen bodysuits. Well, this is the thing. Like, when they rolled this out, the first comment was, what's the new meta going to be? I can't wait for the new meta, you know? You know? Anyway, let's scroll on. Oh, hello. For those areas of the body where coverage is required, the coverage must be fully opaque. Sheer or partially see-through clothing does not constitute as coverage. Yep, sounds about right. Note also that streamers must appropriately categorize their content. For example, streamers that use the attire exception that is granted when streaming near a pool or a hot tub are expected to use the pool, hot tubs, and beaches category when classifying this content. While at times we simply reclassify the stream into appropriate category, repeated failure to appropriately classify a stream will lead to an enforcement action. That makes sense. You're streaming in a bikini near a hot tub and you're in just chatting. That's not okay. Yeah, that'll be purely advertising. That'll be purely advertisers. If you are streaming in a very scantily clad bikini because you know that it's going to get the clicks, you need to be in the specific category. But I am genuinely glad that they have added the fact that they will reclassify the stream if they find, because Twitch fucks up, and the amount of times that it's put me in just chatting because it hasn't updated my game category or something like that. You know what I mean? That happens. So I'm glad that they're saying if we find something, we will reclassify it ourselves. However, if you are repeatedly going into just chatting instead of hot tub category, for example, then we must assume that you're doing it intentionally. Do you know what I mean? Our goal with this and other recent changes is to make a Twitch safe make Twitch a safe and welcoming place for all of the communities that call it home. Improve the clarity of our policies and ensure that people have the experience that they expect when spending time on Twitch. We are currently working on the ability to blur thumbnails for content labeling using the sexual themes label, plus user settings that will allow a user to filter their Twitch viewing experience based on their preference for content labeled with the CCL, which is content classification label. That's really good. So that's basically, this is a stopgap until they can get all of this working. So they're already working on blurring thumbnails, and they're also working on the ability where people can just turn around and go, cool, I do not want to see sexual content. So I will untick sexual theme labels, and that will filter them all out for me. That's really good. That's really, really good. I like that. I like the fact they've got a catch-all. I like the fact that they're working on opening that up further in the future with the ability for people to filter. I like that. That's really good. This is all positive direction from what I can see from like a business point of view, you know, and also from a viewer point of view, because even in this community where we're all very sex positive, there are people who don't want to see that kind of stuff, which is cool, you know. The updated attire policy now reads, new language in bold, we do not permit streamers to be fully or partially nude, including exposing genitals or buttocks, nor do we permit streamers to imply or suggest that they are fully or partially nude, including but not limited to covering breasts or genitals with objects or sensor bars. Yep, fair, makes sense. We do not permit the visible outline of genitals, even when covered. Broadcasting nude or partially nude minors is always prohibited, regardless of context. Love that. Love this. For those who present as women, they had to go and fucking ruin it. For those who present as women, we ask that you cover your nipples and do not expose underbust. Cleavage is unrestricted as long as these coverage requirements are met and it is clear that the streamer is wearing clothing. And then for all streamers, you must cover the area extended from your hips to the bottom of your pelvis and buttocks. So you got to wear hot pants, effectively. No cheeky burlesque streams. No cheeky burlesque streams. Though it looks like they are working towards that, Duchess Demona. It looks like they're working towards that. Actually had an occurrence during the Twitter blow up about this. I set myself to just chatting and suddenly had some rather unsavory people coming into my chat talking about how I had a nice big arse. It was a bit of an eye-opener considering I wasn't exactly dressed up. Oh, Pixie Bomb, you don't have to be. You don't have to be dressed up. It's the shittest element of it, but you don't have to be dressed up. Being a using Twitch's reference here, a person who presents as a woman, regardless of your gender, on Twitch means that there will always be a chance that people will come in and be unsavory. What happened to female? They've devolved to women. I think the dynamic is they're trying to be inclusive. They're failing, in my personal opinion, but they're trying to be inclusive. They're trying to be, hey, regardless of how you were born, if you are presenting as a woman, then we ask you to cover up your nipples. I have a feeling that would massively change if some non-binary people with breasts decided to show their breasts. They would be categorized as presenting as women despite the fact that they are non-binary. Men have nipples too. In fact, rephrasing, everyone has nipples. Yeah, everyone has nipples. Unless surgery. Yeah. If you showed your breast, you'd have a fit, and despite being non-binary. Yep. Yep, they would, yeah. Valentine, why don't they just say all nipples need to be covered? That is my question. That is forever my question, Dean. And that is something that I have said. I have openly said that I am more than happy to be consulted by Twitch at any time to talk about their, like, to be run through this stuff as a sex educator. As a sex educator, I am more than happy. As a sex educator who knows, and a Twitch partner, and somebody who knows many Twitch ambassadors, I am more than happy to sign an NDA and proofread their drafts to highlight issues where wording is going to be a problem, either because somebody is going to exploit the fuck out of it, or because of the fact that their good intentions are not hitting the mark. It's bad wording, but I think it's clear what they intend. Yes, Neil, but the problem with that element of it is the fact that intention is where people find loopholes. Intention is where people find loopholes. Part of every single meta that has happened, every single sexual meta that has happened on Twitch in the 5+ years that I have been streaming. I've been streaming 5.5 years now. Every single meta has come around because of bad wording and people exploiting intention. Why is underbust not allowed but cleavage is? Because cleavage cannot be helped. We talked about this in Discord. Because cleavage cannot be helped, but underbust can. Because some people have such large breasts that no matter what kind of top they're going to wear, they are going to have cleavage. Whereas you can stop, like, to turn around to everybody who has like larger breasts and say, hey, you have to wear a polo neck every single fucking time. But underbust is an intentional thing. Underbust is intentional, whereas cleavage isn't necessarily always. You know? And I think that's where that comes in. Is the fact that somebody who's got massive fucking breasts in the summer is not going to wear a fucking polo neck. They're going to have no choice but to wear some kind of vest top, which means there's going to be cleavage. Whereas to have underbust is like an intentional thing. I am choosing to have underbust because I want to be more alluring. I am not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying that that is what I am assuming in this situation, you know? Underbust is something that you can easily prevent, but cleavage is not always preventable. Yeah. Probably because cleavage is generally acceptable, whereas underbust, specifically choice of clothing, is not. Also, you are far more likely to. I think a lot of it also comes down to safeguarding as well, in the regards that you are far more likely to have a nip slip with something that has an underbust. If you're wearing a crop top that's loose, like a loosey crop top or a cropped top that shows like the bottom half of your boobs, all it takes is a stretch upwards or oh god, look at that, or oh my lordy, to have a fucking nipple pop out. Do you know what I mean? And then you'll get loads of people being like, oh, it was an accident. This is a problem. Oh, Jesus, I didn't mean to. You know, all that. It's just I think it's more preventing future issues than anything else. Or maybe they've had it, and that's the reason why they stopped it. Intention is where people found loopholes. Yep, 100%. So I can cover my screen in male presenting nipples. Just the nipples, nothing else, yeah? Yeah. IDD/G breasts cannot be contained. Cleavage is a thing. Yeah. It baffles me. What I really struggle with is the fact that this is a new thing. This is a new thing. When I first started streaming, nobody could show nipples. Didn't matter of gender. Gender did not matter. You would get manly cisgendered men doing gymnastic, doing like gym streams, and they would have plasters over their nipples. They would have band-aids over their nipples because nobody was allowed to show nipples. And then they've changed it to this. Because what? Blokes got pissed off that they couldn't take their tops off? Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. What about female presenting people wearing pasties that have a picture of male presenting nipples on them? You couldn't do the pasties unless you're in the art section because pasties are not okay. Pasties are not okay because you would have underbust and side bust and all that jazz. You need to make a line of pasties depicting males showing their nipple. There is an awful lot of people that do that. There's an awful lot of people that do that. I've known a fair few streamers who have had like a t-shirt that, or like a vest top that has like male nipples on where the female nipples would be. You know, out of making a point. Should be everyone and no one showing nips. I agree. So what we learn here is that someone in Twitch guidelines department craved male nipples and changed the rules. Yeah, I think actually, to be fair, it was a whole load of toxic men kicking up a fuss so they couldn't take their tops off. And then all of the women went, and the men went, yeah, we don't give a fuck. We want it out of the way. Transmask pre-surgery people, yeah. Because female presenting nipples, all right? Female presenting nipples means that cisgendered men, trans men, and non-binary people should be able to show their nipples. Doesn't matter who they are. But I can guarantee that a non-binary individual with breasts or a pre-op trans masculine person would get shut the fuck down because they get their tits out. You know? I think what people are missing is that there's also children that come on Twitch. They shouldn't be on Twitch if they're on... Okay, Cat's Tribe, I do appreciate that comment. They should not be on Twitch if they are under the age of 13. Twitch is a 13 plus platform. Twitch have already put into their whole thing, the mature content thing, so that there is a filter that should stop anybody under the age of 18 going to certain channels. And on top of that, it is also the responsibility of the parents of that child to make sure they know what their child is looking at, what their child is watching. As much as I do respect the fact that children do come on Twitch completely and utterly, there should be a certain level of responsibility that the parents have to take because it is their child. You cannot expect every single fucking platform to parent for you. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying you specifically, Cat's Tribe. I respect the fact that children do come on Twitch. 100%. Many children get banned from my fucking channel because as soon as they say they're under 18, they get banned instantly because this is an 18 plus channel. I have no doubt that even those people that were doing the implied nudity stuff, anything that was the implied nudity, probably had the mature content stream on there. They had the mature content thing saying that nobody was allowed there unless they were over the age of 18 because they need to protect themselves as well. You know? Just saying that they do come on here to follow their favorite streamer. 100%. No, and you're not wrong by any stretch of the imagination. But it is not like Twitch are already doing so much to protect the eyes of young people. There has to be a point. There genuinely has to be a point where parents stop blaming a platform and realize that they are responsible for what their kids watch. There has to be a point, you know? Nipples aren't inherently sexual, they're for feeding children, but as Valen says, and oh yeah, anything can be sexualized, 100%. And do you know what? I sexualize nipples. I fucking sexualize nipples. I think nipples are fucking amazing, you know? Sensitive erogenous zones. As a European, I have seen many nipples while growing up, from family members to beaches to swimming pools to change rooms. It was never something sexual. Yeah, which is fair. It's never a sexual thing when I'm in a changing room full of performers. It's never a sexual thing when I'm at a gym. It's generally speaking, it isn't. But I know that there is, in the bedroom, they're definitely very sexual. But then, anything can be. Make a point if you care your channel. Oh, could do something amazing to make a point if you don't care that your channel has 95% of chance of being banned. Yeah, it would be... Yeah, it'd be a bold statement, but unless you're big enough to make an impact, you know. But it should be, in my opinion, it's just a body part. They can be sexual, but they aren't inherently sexual. Yeah. But Cat Tribe is right at the end of the day. That what they're saying is essentially correct. The reason a lot of this is a problem is because children do come on to Twitch, and Twitch they're already doing stuff like that. They're already putting in the mature content filters. They're already making sure saying that they're a 13 plus site. Could they do more in regards to parental controls, where if they do have a person, if somebody has an account that where they are under 18, that there is some kind of parental control system in there where their parent can turn around and be like, cool, you are not allowed to access these. You're not allowed to access gambling. You're not allowed to access sexual content tags. You're not allowed to access particularly gory or horror tags. That stuff be really fucking cool. I don't know how, as somebody who isn't a fucking a programmer, I don't know how complicated shit like that is. You know? I don't know how complicated that is, especially when you've got 9.2 million accounts on here. You know what I mean? There are so many parents that have literally no idea what their children are looking at on their phones. Oh, yeah. It's wild to me. It's wild to me. Reminder, don't joke about age. We don't care. You will be banned. Oh, yeah, you will be 100% banned. Don't joke about your age. If you joke about your age, you will be yeeted. Not because we don't think it. It's just purely because I need to protect myself. Absolutely straight up need to protect myself. You talk about joke about being underage, I need to ban you to protect myself. You know? I think these are also to deal with massive number of reports they're probably getting. Oh, yeah, 100%. And there was also a shitload of it. Sounds like you take it easy. Thank you very much for stopping by. There was also a shitload of it with the whole meta with the art stuff, because when the art streams went extremely pornographic, and they did go pornographic, it was way out of control. And I think this part of the harshness.
Yeah,
not even the harshness.
Most kind.
Kazamos, thank you very much, you beautiful being, for coming in for that 28 months. Good lord, I'll be with you in 2 seconds. I think part of the strictness and the catch-all nature of this attire thing is because of how exploited it's the classic thing. It's the classic thing that always fucking happens. A small group of people ruined it for fucking everybody. It could have been, the actual update could have been very, very positive. But of course it wasn't. Because people read it and went, fucking hell, I can get away with drawing tits. Let's go. Some people, a very small minority, are the reason why we can't have nice things. 100%, Dean. 100%. 100%. Cosmos. What do you do with the Fandango? Your name is now inscribed on the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all his sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror, Go, God, I look rough. But god damn, do I make rough look good. Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? You know? Boundary pushing, 100% Midgarder. And you know what? I like a healthy bit of boundary pushing. I like a healthy bit of boundary pushing. But there is definitely an element of... Are you doing it because you want to push the boundaries? Or are you doing it because you want to take the piss? I like pushing boundaries. I don't like taking the piss. No worries, Chunk. You take it easy. Want me to grab you a loaf of bread? Yes, please. Yes, please, Chunk. That would be fucking exquisite. Thank you very much, please, buddy. There's a time and a place for boundary. There's a time and place for many things, but yes, effectively, yeah. I know what my son is looking at, and I have caught him looking at stuff that he shouldn't and confront him with it. Yeah, and that is the right. I know somebody who has also. They've got a young son. They have parental control, so that every single thing that they watch, or every single time they go on a new website, it has to be approved by the parental control. McSteffels has it for her son. You know, there's elements of parental control you can put in there. And if you find them seeing stuff they shouldn't, have the conversation. Be like, right, okay, why are you looking at this? Do you think it's appropriate that you should be looking at this? I don't think it's appropriate you should be looking at this at your age, and this is the reason why. So this is the reason why you're not going to be looking at it until you're much older or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like having the conversation. Because kids will always push boundaries. When I found out that the legal age to have sex in the UK was 16, I was 13. I was 12. I was 12 when I found out that the legal age to have sex was 16. My first thought was, I am going to have sex before I'm 16 because I want to break the law. That was my first thought. Because I was a child and I wanted to push boundaries. I'm strongly considering streaming. I have a young nephew that admires his gaming. She and I decided if it comes when I coordinate, he can watch me stream, and when he can watch me stream, when he can't. That is fair. That is fair. Thank you for being interested in an interested parent that makes the effort so important, because there are so many parents out there. Oh God, yes. God, yes. Oh, the magic mirror, always good. Always good. But pushing is fine, but it needs to be tempered with a little wisdom. Yeah, 100%. But there will always be situations where people don't do that because they can't help themselves. They can't help but want to push beyond reasonable limits, you know? I'm more surprised that somehow we got rid of the unwritten rule of the Noughts internet forum, even if you're within TOS. Oh, yeah. Even if you're within TOS, but you are here to fuck around and try and do the wrong and trying to do wrong and skirting the TOS, you will still be banned. Yeah. Even if you're within TOS, but your intentions are fucked, you'll get banned. Like moderated forums a lot, and if someone came in and started to fuck around at the edge of TOS to that forum, they got a ban for no other reason needed. No need to wait for them to actually break the rules. Yeah. Just needed a clause in the TOS. If you try and break the intent of these rules, you'll be considered to have been breaching them. Yeah. That would cover a lot. But then the argument comes, especially when you get to something that is the size of Twitch, the argument comes with, how do you know they tried to break the intent of the rules? And it genuinely becomes a problem with Twitch, specifically with Twitch as a company, because of the what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember. Well, basically, the moderation's been all over the place. That some people get permanently banned for some minor infraction or a genuine accident or something, and other people get given chance after chance after chance after chance. The unfairness, perhaps, something along those lines. But yeah, that whole scenario, basically. Inconsistency. Thank you very much, Mama Snow. Yes, the inconsistency with Twitch moderation. Coordinated with my sister, his mom. Ah, okay. TT is my name for auntie. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. So she's mine. Thank you. Nephew's mom is very involved in activities. Is there a game that he is into and she's not sure? She calls me to see if it's okay for his age. Yeah, great. Good. Inequity, yeah. The inconsistency was what I was thinking about. The inconsistency in Twitch's moderation has been all about that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, good lord, Catstripe. Good lord, no. It would require a consistent and human reviewing team. Yes. Instead of relying on automated tools. Yeah. And also that all of the humans adhered to that system. You know? For sure. But anyway, that's it. That's it all covered and dusted and sorted in bits and pieces, all right? Friends, that's what I'm going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it today. We've had a really good run today. We had like 4-hour stream. I'm gonna go raid somebody. If you could stick around for the raid, I would very much appreciate it. Even if it's on like 5-10 minutes. Go throw some love at another delightful individual. I'd very much appreciate it. But before we do that, friends, could you do me a massive favor and throw out some mod loves in the channel? Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of channel. You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. Say a massive thank you to those wonderful mods. Where's all my fucking mod loves gone? Everything's changed. There we go. Oh, fuck it. These will do for now. All of the mod loves. Mods, thank you so much. Behind the curtain. Do not look behind the curtain. There's implied nudity.
So many opportunities to do horrific things while you're streaming.
Oh, yeah.
New setup.
Yeah. I am aware of the issues with my current setup and the curtains. I'm gonna put like cardboard vinyl on the other side of the curtain, so when you walk in, you shit yourself. No worries, buddy. Mods, thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for all you do in and out of stream. I very much appreciate it. You exquisite individuals. Friends, I know who we're gonna go raid. If you're a subscriber, please copy and paste the first raid message. If you're not a subscriber, please copy and paste the second raid message. That's the first bot of vein raid message for subscribers. The second bot of vein raid message for non-subscribers. Friends, we're gonna go raid a dear friend of mine. Just my rug. Yeah, that rug's been there for ages, Pixelborn, but it's not been in frame, so I'll that's probably where that's at. We're gonna go raid a good friend of mine, and we're gonna start the year off in a great and glorious way. We're gonna go raid Selena. Selena is a wonderful individual, the head of the Octopus and Dragon stream team. And I would love it if you could all stick around so that we can all go throw some love at her, because she's great and she's glorious and spectacular, and we love her very dearly. If you are not in the raid up here, please click on the link down here so we can all go throw some love at Selena together. Friends, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. GMT. 1 p.m. GMT for some more Baldur's Gate 3. Fully dressed as the Filth Wizard, the whole shebang. You know it. It's going to happen. It's going to be great and wonderful and spectacular. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for the raids, the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bitties. Thanks so much for the donations. Thanks so much for spending your time here. Thanks so much for all of the follows as well. I really appreciate you. You're glorious and spectacular. Thanks so much for making my welcome back to the year so exquisite and beautiful. I really appreciate it. You're wonderful and glorious, and yeah. And yeah. Expect new things, expect exciting things. And yeah, the 2024 is going to be an interesting year of excessive hedonism and encouraging for you to be a hedonistic as well. But yeah, I will see you all tomorrow, you glorious individuals. For those of you that are sticking around tomorrow, until then, remember, don't do anything I wouldn't do, because if I wouldn't do it, I'll fucking kill you. I'll see you all later. Bye bye bye.